state and the public defender place their appearances on the record, please?
Elaine Fusco, State Attorney's Office.
Pedro Matos with the Public Defender.
Thank you. All right, Mr. LaFay, I'm aware of your client as well, so we'll take care of the Portuguese. Are there any other ones that we need to do before Mr. LaFay's?
Yeah, we have Mrs. We have an attorney. I guess she's still talking to her client, but it's for in the 76. Mason, Ashley Mason.
Okay. The Portuguese interpreter is? Perfect.
You don't need the headset.
Who is it? This one? Paulo? This one? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good morning. Is the interpreter on the line?
Yes.
Okay.
Your
Can
Honor.
BRC2 hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. All right. Sir, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
My name is Paulo Lara, Paulolara, Portuguese interpreter.
Thank you. And could you please ask the defendant his name?
Por favor, diga o seu nome.
Paulo da Silva Neto.
Paulo da Silva Neto.
Sir, you're here in 20 CF 9396. You were arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer. And in 20 CT 4789, you were arrested for DUI. I only find probable cause for the regular DUI. There's no evidence that he had a BAL greater than 0.20.
Your Honor, the interpreter.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Interpreter. Do you want me to start over?
Please, it was breaking up a little bit.
Okay, so tell Mr. De Silva that he was arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer.
Senhor da Silva, você foi preso por ter batido, por ter agredido oficial, policial.
Não, agredi não. Na verdade, quem agrediu foi ele aqui, ó.
No, I didn't attack him. He was the
Mr.
one.
So,
Interpreter.
Mr. De Silva, I'm not saying that you did. I'm telling you why you were arrested. I don't want you to speak about your case, please.
Oh, ok.
Senhor da Silva, eu não estou dizendo que você fez isso ou não. Eu só estou dizendo qual é a acusação. Eu não preciso que você diga nada neste momento.
Sim, ok.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ok. Obrigado, senhor.
You were also arrested for driving under the influence.
Você também foi preso por estar dirigindo sob efeito de álcool.
Sim.
There is probable cause
Yes, e tem uma causa provável disso ter acontecido.
I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Eu vou nomear defensor público para te representar.
Tá bom.
I am
Obrigado.
going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
E eu vou permitir que você seja liberado antes do julgamento, nesse momento.
You are not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Você não pode possuir nenhum tipo de arma, ou de arma de fogo ou outro tipo de arma.
You are also not to possess or consume any alcohol or controlled substances without a valid prescription.
Você também não está permitido consumir nenhum tipo de substância alcoólica ou medicamentos sem uma prescrição médica.
Tá bom.
Ok.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Ok, senhor. Muito obrigado.
And thank you, Mr. Interpreter. That's all I have this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor. May the interpreter be excused?
Pardon me?
May the interpreter be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you again.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a nice day.
Okay. All right, what are we doing now? Who are we doing that? We're doing the move up first, or what do we have? I forgot Mr. LaFay's client's name. Sophia. Dexter, do we have any move ups that we need to do?
Not at this moment, other than the private attorneys.
Okay, Mr. LaFay, were you ready on your case?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. Oh, they were? Okay. It was my understanding that these ladies were here first.
Yeah.
They, I believe, they've been here since 9 o'clock. So
Okay.
they've got me beat so
Okay.
far in the
I apologize.
line.
I didn't know that you all were here. I only was informed that Mr. LaFay was here. So you have Miss Mason, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Would you like me to approach the podium or stand here?
The podium would be fine. Sure. I think that'll be better in terms of distance too. But they're all in here. Yeah, yeah.
I'm scared.
Oddly, it's not in the right spot. Maybe she pulled it forward. She did.
I thought that's what she said.
Where did I? I'm alone. So weird.
I had told this woman that she was moving up.
Oh, this is Mr. LaFay's case. You're much better than I am at it, and you're quicker too. Counselor, please tell me your name.
Attorney Angelica Jones on behalf of Ms. Ashley Mason.
Miss Jones?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Angelica with a G, sorry.
That's okay. I know it's hard to hear too with.
Is it okay if I bring it down a little bit so you can
It
hear
is
me
okay
better?
if you want to.
Thank
Sure.
you.
And then are you two together?
Yes.
Okay. No, the paperwork. I get ready. Okay, we found it. All right, this is case number 20 CF 9420. Ms. Jones, would you just place your appearance on the record, please?
Attorney Angelica Jones on behalf of defendant Ashley Mason.
Thank you. Ms. Mason, you were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for principal in the first degree to first degree murder and aggravated assault with a firearm. Ms. Fusco, were you asking to be heard with respect to bond as to count one? Or Ms. Jones, did you want to reserve the entire Arthur hearing for downtown?
Your Honor, I would defer to the court on whether or not we would have an Arthur hearing. I would request a bond today. But however, if the court is inclined to send this to an Arthur hearing, I would request that the Arthur hearing be set for 7 to 10 days out in downtown.
Okay, so my reading of the statute is that count one is a punishable by life felony. Would you agree?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so then usually how I do it with these types of cases is based upon the Constitution, the state at this time is required to show that there is proof evident or presumption great. At that time, you can argue, if you want to go that route, that's option one. You can argue with respect to that prong of the Arthur hearing, and I can make a finding, and then you can choose what you want to do, whether have the bond portion downtown or you want it to continue with your bond hearing. That's up to you. Or you can just say, we would prefer to have our entire hearing, the proof evident portion and the bond portion, 7 to 10 days out.
May I confer?
Sure.
Your Honor, we would like then to place everything 7 to 10 days out.
Okay, then you're waiving the requirement that the state show that finding today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, no problem. So then count one will remain at no bond. Count 2, I'm going to set at $5,000. She's entitled to bond on count 2. But I will order, Ms. Mason, that you are not to have any contact with the victim's family.
Absolutely.
And you're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Okay.
Could we have no contact with the witnesses as well, Your Honor?
Do you want to be heard on that at all?
The problem is that one of the witnesses is her daughter, so I would object to the fact that she can't, I don't mind putting something in there that says that she can't speak about the case to her daughter and to her boyfriend. However, it is a long-term relationship with the husband and obviously with her daughter. So for those two reasons, I would request that those two individuals, she would be allowed to speak with the caveat that she is not to discuss this case with them.
Okay. So what I'll put in the order is that, Ms. Mason, you're not to have any contact with any of the witnesses that are listed in the affidavit for your arrest, with the exception of your husband and your daughter, and you're not allowed to discuss the case. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Your Honor, if I may clear up, it's not her husband, it is her long-term boyfriend.
I understand. Okay. With Mr. Rodriguez, you're not to have any contact with Mr. Rodriguez. I'm sorry, you are allowed to have contact with him, but you are not to discuss the facts of this case.
Okay.
Anything else, Ms. Jones?
That is all, Your Honor.
What about
That is all I'm hearing.
So, Ms. Mason, I believe your lawyer will probably come speak with you about what you can expect for the bond hearing.
Yes, thank you.
Okay?
That is all my business before the court. May I be excused?
Sure, thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. LaFay, I think you're up.
And Your Honor, Mr. LaFay's defendant, Mr.
Turner?
Turner, is medical.
Okay. Mr. LaFay,
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have been notified that Mary Salmon from Statewide is prosecuting the case, and she has been attempting to reach your office to make arrangements to come. I think she thought it was going to be this afternoon.
well, the problem with the office this morning is we've had no internet or no phones all morning. So that's probably why she hasn't been able to reach our office. Not sure why she would think it would be this afternoon. These cases are always heard in the morning. Well, we're not really going to have an afternoon today because everything's going to be pushed together. So, if Mr. LaFay, I'm so sorry. I hate to make you wait more. Do you want to come back later?
I honestly don't, but,
Can she appear by phone?
I'd be glad to put Miss Salmon's on speakerphone. How about that?
I certainly have no objection to that.
If we can reach her,
Well,
don't.
with the court's permission, I'll just dial up my old office, 407-245-0983.
Yes.
Hi, this is Michael LaFay. I'm calling from the courtroom. Judge Carter presiding. Is Mary Salmon there?
I just tried her for somebody else. She wasn't. Do you want to talk to Amy?
Sure.
One moment, Michael. Let me find her.
Amy, this is Michael LaFay. You're on speakerphone. I'm in Judge Carter's courtroom at the BRC. We're embarking on the first appearance for Antoine Turner. And is Mary Salmon there?
No, she is not. I don't know that she is going on. Is it the initial appearance?
It is. Would you like to have an attorney stand in for her?
Yeah. I actually have Jim right here. I'll make him do it. Hold on one
Excellent.
second.
Who is it?
It would be Mr. Schneider.
Okay, is there a number we can call? I'll call him on the court.
Mr. Schneider, this is Michael LaFay. I'm standing in Judge Carter's courtroom. So we're going to call you for Mr. Turner's first appearance. Judge Carter's going to dock. Since you're on speakerphone, that laugh may have been ill-advised, as is this one. But Judge Carter would be calling at the number you tell us right now, so that your office can participate in this first appearance. I'm sorry? I don't know what. Any number you'd like. We can dial you back at 407-245-0893, or you can just stipulate to a $100,000 bond.
Out of 320.
321. Okay, stand by. Thanks. We go back.
On the line. Good morning. Is this Mr. Schneider?
Yes, it is. James Schneider for the statewide prosecutor.
Thank you, Mr. Schneider. This is case number 20 CF 9348. Mr. LaFay, Mr. Turner will not be brought to the courtroom due to the fact that he's in medical here at the jail. Did you want to waive his appearance?
I can waive his appearance, Your Honor.
Okay.
So, just preliminarily, Your Honor, I can make a couple of observations. The first, I've been provided with, I believe, all the paperwork that the court has before it. And I have an application affidavit for an arrest warrant. I have really just the two-pager that says that the arrest warrant was executed upon Mr. Turner. And and then the arrest warrant application affidavit that I have says, see document entitled Exhibit A, MBI case number 20N-2010, submitted to state and incorporated herein by reference. So that document is not, in fact, incorporated herein by reference. One of the bond criteria is the weight of the evidence against the defendant. And I understand that probable cause has been found.
Hold on one second, Mr. LaFay. I think that was the court reporter asking you to move the microphone closer to your mouth.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
And I understand probable cause has been found. I'm not making that argument. I'm simply saying that's one of the things that the court would have to consider in deciding, in determining Mr. Turner's bond today at his first appearance. And that is absent. So we don't know what the weight of the evidence is. We do know that under 907.041, there's a list of dangerous crimes, and trafficking is not on it. And so that section would say there's a presumption of a non-monetary bond, since this isn't a dangerous crime. So those are my first two observations, that I don't have the paperwork to make coherent arguments. I don't know where they are, but I don't believe the court has them either.
I do not.
If I may, Your Honor, Ms. Salmon says that she has been trying to email the records, but I don't know if they're not getting through.
I don't have access to a phone this morning or internet. So you're in contact with Ms. Salmons, Ms.
Just
Briscoe?
by email.
Okay, well, Mr. Schneider, is it my understanding that this is not actually your case?
No, it is not, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, that's
I'm
okay. I'm just
standing
trying
in
to.
because someone asked me to.
No, I understand. So can Ms. Salmons appear by phone?
Can who appear by phone, Your Honor?
I'm asking the state that's present in the courtroom. She's saying that she's emailing with Ms. Salmons, and I'm asking if Ms. Salmons can appear by phone instead of you, since I think she'd have
Miss Salmons,
the facts
is
are.
Miss Salmons on the phone? All right, ma'am, I have Miss Salmons on another line. Is there numbers that she can call? Don't let her hang up.
I'll call her if I could get a phone number, please.
Okay, can I get Mary's phone number? I'm getting Miss Salmons' phone number for you.
Thank you.
Within 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You need a number to get the court. I appreciate the court's indulgence.
No problem, Mr. Schneider.
Okay, Miss Salmon's telephone number is 407
Okay.
516
Okay.
5956.
595.
Again, 407 516 5956. And that's her personal cell, and she knows the court will be calling her.
Fantastic. Thank you for your help, Mr. Schneider. I appreciate it.
Thanks for your time, Judge.
She is. Good morning. Is this Miss Sampson?
This is Mary Salmon,
Oh, Miss Sampson.
Office of Statewide Prosecutor. It's okay.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. I sincerely apologize for the confusion. I would have been present had I known that he was arrested and that he had the IAs this morning, so I do apologize for that.
Thank you very much. No problem. It's been a crazy morning. Our internet, and we don't have any internet or any phone this morning either, so that further complicated everything.
Gotcha.
But we're going to get through.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just recall the case 20 CF 9348. Mr. Lefebvre, I know that you've already made a couple of arguments, but could you just revisit those for the benefit of Ms. Salmon?
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. I'll reiterate them, but in summary fashion.
Sure.
I had previously raised 2 points. First, that I do have the application and affidavit for arrest warrant, and that document says that has no facts within it. It's a 2-pager, and it has Exhibit C, Exhibit A, MBI case number 20N-2010, submitted this date and incorporated herein by reference. It is not incorporated herein by reference in the copy I have, and apparently that the clerk has, and apparently the copy that the court has. So there's simply no facts before the court, and one of the bond criteria that the court has to consider in setting a bond is the weight of the evidence against the defendant. So that would seem to place everyone and every consideration at a disadvantage for our considerations today. The second thing is that under 907.041, there's a list of dangerous crimes, and that statute says that, well, for anybody arrested for a dangerous crime, the presumption on non-monetary bond does not apply. Trafficking, however, in any substance is not on the list of dangerous crimes. Therefore, that presumption would apply. And those are the 2 points that I made.
And it's my understanding that there is a bond, so we're not talking about a no bond warrant.
That's correct.
One, two, Your Honor, we do have a copy of the affidavit. Has not been filed yet with in the case. We can provide a copy to Your Honor for your review. However, a judge has already found probable cause to issue the warrant as well as to set the bond as the bond has been set. Mr. Turner while a arrest warrant was being issued, or he was being served with an arrest warrant for a homicide charge, Mr. Turner threw substances outside of the window of the vehicle that he was in. It was caught on by a helicopter. Was also viewing up in the sky the defendant's act of throwing these substances out the window. The substances turned out to be 84 grams of fentanyl and then 200 grams of cocaine, both which came back as testing positive. So that is the summary of the facts leading to the arrest warrant on the defendant that is before the court today.
Okay. So, Mr. LaFay, what type of bond are you requesting for Mr. Turner?
Your Honor, Mr. Turner is on a no bond on the homicide case.
Okay.
So I am asking for a $100,000 bond in this case.
Split between the 4 counts?
Obviously, count 4, excuse my cough, and although I do have a cough, I can announce on the record I have tested negative twice, thank you,
Okay.
so that the courtroom doesn't evacuate.
Thank you, Mr. LaFay.
The count 4 has a $500 bond, and I don't have any issue with that. I would simply ask that the bonds, if I could turn to my paperwork, on counts 1 and 2 be $50,000 apiece. And I don't take any issue with the bond on count 3.
Okay. Ms. Williams, I see here that he's on pretrial release as well. Okay. But I don't see a detainer for that.
Mr. Turner, Your Honor, I can advise the court, was previously arrested some months ago for a fleeing and attempting to elude. That case is still pending simply because we've not been able to get into court. The current offer is 1 year of probation.
Okay. I still have to address that case, though, if the arrest date is prior to the offense date listed in those affidavit. Ms. Salmon, did you want to respond to Mr. LaFay's request regarding the bond amount?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would ask that the bonds be stayed at the amounts already determined. The defendant is facing 25-year minimum mandatory as well as a 7-year minimum mandatory. And therefore, the fact that he is facing this amount of time, it is a concern that he may be a flight risk, as well as the fact that, as Your Honor just mentioned, he is previously on bond on another charge. And so the state would just ask that Your Honor stay the bond.
So the other issue I have, Mr. LaFay, is I don't have the benefit of hearing from Mr. Turner because he can't be present in court, and I know that's not his fault. It's because of where he is in the jail. So I don't have the benefit of any information about Mr. Turner, except for that you told me he's already here on a homicide warrant. I know that he's out on bond on this. I don't know anything about
Your Honor,
him.
I don't mean to interrupt. I know the state was able to proffer its weight of the evidence.
Yes.
And by proffer, which we certainly do in federal court, I can advise you that Mr. Turner has his entire family in Orlando. He has a private business, two, actually. One is just a startup. It's a limousine company. The other is Turner Home Improvement Elite. And that is, Mr. Turner owns several parcels of real estate, both in Orlando and in Volusia County, that he basically, they're short-term rental places for Airbnb. His last conviction, I believe, and I'm just going on memory, was a possession firearm by convicted felon in 2009. And I don't...
I've got a 2013. Yeah, it looks like he was released from DOC in 2013, and the charge is the same as you indicated.
And so, short of that 2009 conviction, I don't believe there's been anything else. There has been the fleeing and attempting to elude, which was several months ago, but that has not yet been resolved. So, I think his children, his mother, his aunts, uncles, his entire family does live in Orlando. I don't believe there's any significant history of failure to appear whatsoever. There may be back in 2001, 2002, 2005, or something like that.
The face sheet indicates he has 11 prior failures to appear. However, the last one is in January of 2009. So that would have been when he was around the time of the last conviction that you're referencing.
So that's all I can proffer, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. LeFay. I appreciate that. Do you have a form for me for the PTR case?
He attended IAs previously when this detainer was closed, so they didn't take any action.
Does it have a bond on it?
I'm looking it up now.
That doesn't make any sense to me, because if he's on PTR and he has a new case that he was just arrested for,
And it was, yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out why I don't have anything.
Yeah, they haven't sent me anything via email.
Pardon me?
I haven't been sent the form via email for him. I'm just gonna go in the system and see if it's still. Oh, I'm just going in the system and see if the PTR is still active.
Okay.
Because it was closed as entry area, because he went to initial appearance July the 24th. And that warrant that he came in on, the date of that offense was before. So they closed the entry area. Now he's here on a new case. It should be opened again, and he should be out on PTR. But I have not been submitted a form for that detainer.
What I'm trying to figure out is if when he came in on the 24th, if the PTR was revoked at that time, and so it really shouldn't be on this sheet, or if I should have a FAD sheet.
No, his previous bond was not revoked.
No, Your Honor.
When he was
It was an
arrested on
entry
the
error.
homicide, because the homicide predated, according to the documents that we had in
Right.
open at first appearance,
Okay.
predated the fleeing and attempting to elude. So,
Got it. So that's why I was trying to figure out, so then I should have a FAD now.
Yes, you should have one now.
Yes, okay. Okay. And then, all right.
or the alleged homicide.
All right, so in 20 CF 9348, I'm going to leave bond sat on count 1 at 200,000. I will set bond on count 2 at 50,000. Count 3, 1,000. Count 4, 500. Mr. Turner is not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. And then what's the case number for the PTR case? 20 CF 4876?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to revoke the release in that case. Bond will be set at none. Ms. Salmon, was there anything else from you?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. LeFay, anything else?
I have nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for your patience this morning, Mr. LeFay. I
No,
appreciate
thank
it.
you, Your Honor. Good to see you.
You as well.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to appear by phone. I appreciate it.
Thank you, you're welcome. Of course, thank you. Are we ready?
Yes, Your Honor. So we're going to Spanish now?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
before they bring Mr. Reyes up, can I ask a simple question?
Sure.
This might be due to my inexperience, but on the affidavit for the actual stop, I don't know if that's part of this area of the trial, will be something later on. There's just alleged that he was stopped for, I have it right here, for improper working equipment, improper or unsafe equipment, but there's no facts alleged for anything that was improper or unused, and that's how they came to the conclusion of the violation of suspended license. They did not know
Mr.
prior.
Matos, let me just stop you. So that, I think, would be your probable cause challenge to the offense, which I'm happy to have you make. But I just need to call the case first.
Okay.
Okay?
I just didn't know if it was done here or later.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Theodore Leal, Spanish interpreter. The interpreter has not been sworn, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Good morning. Could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Do you swear to translate from Spanish to English, English to Spanish, the testimony she will receive today?
Yes, I do. Theodore Leal for the record. And Your Honor, which jail courtroom is the defendant testifying from?
Courtroom 2.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sí,
Sir, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
buenos días, Luis Reyes.
Good morning, Luis Reyes.
Mr. Reyes, this is 20 CT 4782. You were arrested for driving with license suspended or revoked. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Mr. Matos, I think you had a probable cause challenge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
According to the affidavit, within the four corners, we have a stop done by improper and unsafe equipment. But prior to the, even though the citation of improper and unsafe equipment is placed on the affidavit, there's no facts that says that there was anything wrong with the red Toyota Corolla, which led to
Mr. Matos, I apologize. Could you slow down the interpreters on the line? It's easy to forget. I
Oh,
know.
absolutely. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Interpreter, I'm gonna start from the beginning. The affidavit that charged Mr. Reyes says that he was stopped because his red Toyota Corolla had improper and unsafe equipment.
Go ahead, counsel. The interpreter is interpreting simultaneously.
Perfect. The affidavit does not include any of the facts that would prove that anything in the red Corolla bearing the Florida license tag number LPUP72 has any problems that would make it improper or unsafe equipment. Therefore, the stop for that caused the officer to know that Mr. Luis Enrique Reyes Cruz had a suspended driver's license would become improper, and there was no probable cause for
Thank
this.
you, Mr. Matos. Ms. Truesdale, did you have a response?
Your Honor, he just does have a factual statement that he stopped him for improper, unsafe equipment, but then the defendant spontaneously, admitted that his license was suspended due to failure to pay child support.
But what about what is unsafe about the equipment? Where's the facts that establish what?
Reason to be
unsafe?
stopped?
Pardon me?
For the reason for the stop?
Correct.
I can ask for 24 hours to supplement, Your Honor.
Mr. Matos, I was inclined to release your client on his own recognizance. Did you want to just withdraw your probable cause challenge? You can still file a motion to suppress on the actual case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Reyes, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, sir. You are not to drive without a valid driver's license.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. De nada. Okay, gracias. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Juan Camacho Moreno.
Sir-
Juan Camacho Moreno.
This is 20MO814. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. There is probable cause.
Sí.
Ms. Fusco, were you making an offer to Mr. Camacho Moreno?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 2 days with 2 days credit time served, court costs.
Sir, did you want to accept the offer?
¿Cómo fue?
Okay.
¿De oferta de qué?
What was the offer again?
2 days with credit for 2 days time served.
Pero que si hago eso me sueltan.
So if I go ahead with this, I will be released?
Yes.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Camacho, did you read the plea form before court?
No, yo no sé leer mucho.
No, I don't know how to read very well.
Okay. So, Mr. Camacho, let me explain this to you. If you enter the plea today, you're going to give up your right to have a trial on this charge. Do you understand?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. You won't get to put on any defenses to the crime. Do you understand?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you want to give up those rights and enter a plea of no contest?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Camacho, are you on probation?
No.
No.
Do you understand, if you are not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Sí, entiendo.
Yes, I understand.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening today?
No.
No.
Sir, I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You'll have to pay court costs, which will be due by August 6th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank you, sir. I'm not going to revoke your release on your other
Okay.
case. Thank you.
Ok, se me puedo ir hoy, ¿verdad?
Okay, so I can leave today, right?
Yes, sir.
Ok.
Okay.
Good morning. Your name?
William Lager. Lager, colon.
William Lager.
This is 20 CF 9422. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm, improper exhibition of a weapon or firearm, and carrying a concealed firearm. There's probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with any of the victims. Mr. Lager, you are not to go on your neighbor's property. Do you understand?
Sí.
Yes.
You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Any firearms that you do own need to be surrendered to the police department within 6 hours of your release from jail. You need to call the non-emergency number to the police department and ask them how you need to surrender the firearms if you have them. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time, sir. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Tell me your name.
Sí, muy buenos días. Mi nombre es Jomar Rivera López.
Yes. Good morning. My name is Joe Mark Rivera Lopez.
Sir, you have two cases this morning. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in both. In 20 CF 9434, you were arrested for carrying a concealed weapon. There is a concealed firearm. There's probable cause for that offense. And in 20 CF 9435, you were arrested for possession of olazapam, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, which there's also probable cause for. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Any firearms that you do own must be surrendered to the police department within 6 hours of your release from the jail. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription, and I will place you on pretrial release at this time, sir.
Your Honor. Testing.
Sir, were you able to hear? I don't think he can hear. Can you hear me, sir?
Sí, te oigo ahora.
Can you hear the interpreter?
Sí, ahora te oigo.
Okay. Do I need to repeat anything that I said?
Sí, lo oigo, lo oigo.
Can the interpreter hear me?
Lo oigo.
I don't think the interpreter is on the line.
Te oigo. Te oigo.
Mr. Interpreter, can you hear me? He can't. Mr. Rivera, do you speak English?
I speak a little bit English.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, she's gonna try to reconnect. You don't know.
Court interpreter.
Good morning. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Court interpreter.
Yes, sir. You can't hear me? Courtroom 2 can still hear, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know what the problem is. Yeah.
Want me to try calling him on the,
Yeah, let's do it.
what's his number? Oh, he can't hear you. I call the,
Oh, they're calling.
yeah, we're on the last case.
Hello?
Can he hear you? Is he there? Is that him? Or that's,
No, that's Mr. Rivera.
oh. I don't know. How many times you tried, Judge?
Oh, he's trying to call me.
Oh, he's trying to call back.
Sir, can you hear me?
I know.
Mr. Interpreter? It says we're connected, but no idea. And he hung up.
Can you try calling him back? Can you? Okay.
Court interpreter.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear him, but he can't.
Court interpreter, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. I know you can't hear me.
Yeah, we can hear him, but he can't hear the judge.
Hey, Jared. Good morning. It's Amy Carter calling from the BRC.
Hi, Judge. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you for asking. So I'm in court and we cannot hear, the interpreter cannot hear us. So everything's working except for and I can hear the interpreter, but he cannot hear me. So I'm not sure.
I don't think it's anything that you're doing.
Okay.
Do you know who the interpreter is by chance? I'm just trying to zero in on where they are. We have a lot of them that are working from home.
No, he looked like he was in the office.
Carlos, what's
Okay.
Moreno? No.
Carlos and Theo. They both. Carlos and Theo both.
Carlos, he works from home.
Oh, he does. He's got a nice office.
He sure does. Hang on a second. Let's see here. And he can't connect to you, right?
No.
You're connected to him in courtroom 1.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but when he comes on, I can hear him say, good morning. And then I said, can you hear me? And he cannot. It was working, and then all of a sudden the defendant couldn't hear anything. And then the defendant and I can still hear each other. It's just that the interpreter cannot hear us.
Is he still on the hook?
No.
Okay. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to restart. What's going on there now?
I'm connected to courtroom 2.
Okay. Hang on just a second, would you?
Sure. Oh, hold on.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking we have some other issue with Carlos,
Okay.
and I'll have to ask them to get someone else to pick up the call.
Oh, okay, that will work.
I really don't think it's a problem with him. I mean,
Okay.
with your system, it's more of a problem with him.
His connection. Okay, then I'm going to hang up
Yes.
the phone that I'm on hold with you.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm going to call the interpreter line back.
Okay, hang on just a second. Try something else. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that's not it either. It's got to be his connection.
Okay.
And I'll send him an email and ask him not to pick up that BRC call.
All right, I'll just wait a couple seconds then for him to not pick it up.
Okay, Judge. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Is Mr. Alexis the Creole interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm setting Mr. Alexis to the side.
Are we gonna do him at the end?
Sure.
Okay.
If she can get an email.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to try this.
Say just 1 second. She's emailing to make sure that
You got
she
it.
don't pick up and somebody else get the phone.
Thank you.
She gonna let me know when she's.
anything now. It's just, this day's gonna go down in the books, I'm telling you.
Did you try now? Oh, okay. Okay, good.
We're good?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is the Spanish interpreter.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Have you already been sworn in?
Yes, Your Honor, I have. Is the defendant in BRC2?
He is.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay.
Sí.
He can hear me.
Okay. This is 20 CF 9434. Mr. Rivera, before we were interrupted, I explained to you that you were going to be placed on pretrial release, that you were not to have any contact with the victim in this case. Or I'm sorry, that was the case before. I explained to you you're going to be placed on pretrial release. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. And if you have any firearms, you need to surrender those to the police department within 6 hours of your release from the jail. Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Madam Interpreter, that's all we have.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like we can't get going. Can't get a rhythm.
And Your Honor, Artavius Benton is medical.
He's a reset. Okay. Mr. Matos, did you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is 20 MM 5690. This was a reset from yesterday to give the state additional time to establish the probable cause for the resisting officer without violence charge. Ms. Fusco, do you have some additional information?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant has another case pending, and the information is in that affidavit.
Okay. Do you have that, a copy of it for me? Sure. Ms. Fusco, is this your copy? Yes. Oh, you can have that back. I'll look it up myself. Thank you. I'm reading it here. That's fine. Thank you.
The pertinent part is on the 4th page.
But I have to read the entire affidavit because I believe that he's here on that case today, right?
Okay.
Okay. In 20 MM 5690, the court does find that there is probable cause based upon the additional information that was provided in the arrest affidavit in 20 CF 9414. Bond will be $500 in the misdemeanor case. Revoking the bond in 20 CF 1353, that will be set at none. And In 20 CF 9414, Mr. Benton was arrested for first-degree murder with a firearm pursuant to a probable cause warrant. I'll appoint the public defender to represent him in all the cases in the event that the public defender wasn't previously appointed. Ms. Fusco, were you asking to be heard with respect to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. The state asked the court to consider all the facts in the affidavit. While the victim was in a fight with Defendant 1 over a gun, Defendant 1 had used the gun to shoot and strike the victim. This defendant is seen on video footage searching the victim's pants pocket and removes what's later to be determined a gun from the victim's pocket. He hands it to Defendant 1, who then fired the fatal shot at the victim and fled. So this defendant acted in concert with Defendant 1 by coming to the aid of Defendant 1 when Defendant 1 and the victim were struggling with the gun, and the defendant then removed the second gun and handed it to Defendant 1, and it was after this intervention by the current defendant that Defendant 1 was able to fire the fatal shot. The state asked the court to find proof, evidence, or presumption great that this defendant committed first-degree murder with a firearm when he intervened and assisted Defendant 1 in the shooting of the victim. We asked the court to find proof, evidence, presumption great and hold him at no bond.
Mr. Matos, did you want to be heard?
Your Honor, the public defender's office would be it would be in the best can't think of the word right now. It would be in the best
Interest?
In the best interest of Mr. Benton to have this as a full author here in downtown, especially
So
since
then
he's
you're
not here at the
waiving
time.
your client's right to make the state prove
Yes,
or
Your Honor.
establish proof, evidence, or presumption great?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so the court will make no finding as to proof, evident, or presumption great at this time. The defense will coordinate to get the Arthur hearing set downtown. Mr. Matos, it might be easier on these cases moving forward if you're going to waive your client's right to make the state establish that there is proof, evident, or presumption great at this time and requesting the hearing be set at a later date to just let me know, and then we
Okay.
can just move forward from there.
Not a problem.
Okay, thank you. The state, as I said, you'll have to coordinate with the state to have that hearing coordinated downtown. Sir, good morning. Your name? Tell me your name.
Richard Scarborough.
All right. How about Mr. Thompson? Is he coming?
Behavior, Your Honor.
All right. I'll take care of Mr. Thompson in just a moment. Mr. Scarborough, good morning.
Morning.
You are here, sir, in case number 20MO810. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. There's probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Scarborough?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 2 days with credit time served.
Mr. Scarborough, do you want to enter a plea this morning?
Yes, ma'am. I plead no contest to that.
All right, sir. Did you read the plea form before court?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
I am. Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am. I've been here 3 days. I haven't taken anything.
All right, sir. I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in jail with credit for 3 days time served. You'll have to pay court costs, which will be due by August 6th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm going to find a waiver of Mr. Thompson's appearance based upon his refusal to come to court. And that's in 20MM 5729. I'll appoint the public defender's office. He was arrested for trespassing on property after warning. There's probable cause. Bond is $500. He's not to return to Oasis Liquor. And I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond case. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Tell me your name.
Kevin Brutus.
Mr. Brutus, this is 20 CF 9401. You were arrested for aggravated assault, dating violence, and battery dating violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Thank you for your patience this morning. Could you please tell me your name?
Stacia McMillan.
All right, Ms. McMillan. Do you want to have contact with Mr. Brutus?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
How long have you been in a relationship together?
About 7 months.
How many?
7 months.
Just move a little bit closer, will you please? It's just hard to hear. Did you say 7 months?
Yes.
All right. Do you have any children together?
No.
And are there children in the home?
No.
Do you live together?
No.
And ma'am, during your relationship, have there been instances of violence between the two of you?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Fusco, do you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Did you tell a police officer that there had been unreported instances of violence?
I didn't say that. I don't recall.
Okay. And did you tell him you were afraid?
I don't recall saying
Due to those things, Your Honor, and the statement at the scene to the officer that's in the affidavit about a third of the way up saying that he made a threat to slice her throat, we would ask for no contact.
Mr. Matos?
Ma'am, I just like to clarify. Would you like contact with Mr. Brutus?
Yes.
Do you feel threatened by Mr. Brutus in any way? Your Honor, the victim is here asking to have contact with the client, and she does not feel threatened by him in any way, shape, or form. I would like at this point the court to enter a non-hostile contact order.
Based upon the information that I have today, I am going to order that you are not to have any contact with Ms. McMillan. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Mr. Brutus, I am going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Do you have any questions, sir, about the no contact order?
You said I cannot. I'm not going to be able to have contact with her.
That's correct. It's not a final order that can be modified by the trial judge, but based upon the information I have today, I'm not comfortable allowing contact.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Ms. McMillan, anything else? Okay, thank you.
Your Honor.
No, they don't work together.
Your Honor, for the next case, which is would be Grant Paul, I have a probable cause challenge.
Okay. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Paul Grant.
Mr. Grant, this is 20 CF 9413. You were arrested for battery, domestic violence, and battery by strangulation, domestic violence. There is, Mr. Matos, you had a probable cause challenge. Is it
Yes,
to
Your
count
Honor.
two? That's to count
As
two?
to the battery with strangulation, Your Honor.
Correct. Count two. Okay. What's your challenge?
Your Honor, the first element of battery by strangulation must, it's not just wrapping in your hands or choking the other person. It must impede the regular breathing or the blood circulation. If we go all the way to paragraph 7 on the affidavit, it says that the affidavit states that he wrapped his hands around her and choked her and then punched her in the arm. And no part of the affidavit doesn't mention that her breathing or circulation or of blood was impeded. Therefore, there's no probable cause and would ask the court to ROR on that count.
Okay. Ms. Fusco, your response?
Your Honor, just that the statement of the choking, I believe, suffices. If not, we would ask for 24 hours.
So the fact that it just says that she was choking the person, or he was choking her, or had his hands around her neck, doesn't satisfy the elements in the statute. Okay? So you can either request your 24 hours, that's fine, or you could ask the court to find probable cause for the lesser included offense.
Your Honor, I would ask the court to find probable cause for a lesser included offense.
I'll agree with that, Your Honor.
Okay. And there is facts to establish that there are 2 counts of battery, hands on her neck, and the punch on her arm. So the court will find probable cause for 2 counts of misdemeanor battery. Mr. Grant, you are not to have contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Sir, you may have a one-time return with the police if you need to get your things. Bond on count 1 is going to be $1,000. Bond on count 2 is $100. Mr. Grant, do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Robert Hancock.
Mr. Hancock, this is case number 20CF 9024. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for written threats to kill or do bodily harm. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you have any questions about the no contact order, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Your bond is $2,500. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Barley Joseph.
Sir, you're here in 20 CF 9416. You were arrested for battery, domestic violence, and grand theft of a motor vehicle. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir. You may have a one-time return with the police to get your things if needed. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am.
Your bond on count 1 is going to be $500. Your bond on count 2 is $1,000. I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 584. That's going to be set at none, sir. Thank you.
So I have a I have a bond, but I still have a hold.
That's right. You have to have your lawyer file a bond motion in your other case that you were already out on bond for. Thank you.
Oh, so I can't go through my my Bill's bondsman.
No, the judge will have to hear, your lawyer's going to have to file a motion, and the judge will have to decide if they want to reset bond.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Your name?
All right, Taylor. Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Taylor, this is 20 CF 9436. You were arrested for battery and for obstructing justice tampering in a third-degree felony proceeding. I think it's just the wrong subsection. That's all. There's probable cause for the battery. Just a minute. No. Just a second.
The last paragraph of the first page.
No. I just think the word, I understand the facts. I'm just talking about what's listed on the affidavit where it says tampering in a third-degree felony proceeding. I think that's a typo based upon what the statute says.
Okay.
Right. It should just be 914.22. So there's probable cause for both offenses. Good morning.
Morning.
Can you please tell me your name?
Ora Lee Taylor.
Mr. Taylor, thank you for coming this morning, and again, thank you for your patience. Mr. Taylor, do you want to have contact with your son?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Does he live with you?
Yes.
Who else lives in the home?
My wife. That's it.
Just the three of you? All right. Do you have any concerns about you or your wife's safety if I were to allow him to come home?
No.
Okay. Have you had any issues in the past?
Once before, one time.
Once before? How long ago was that?
About 2 years ago.
Okay. Have there been any issues with alcohol or drugs? Did that play a role in this incident, do you think?
No.
Ms. Fusco, did you have any questions?
Did you have any concerns for Mrs. Taylor?
No.
Nothing further, Your
All
Honor.
right. Mr. Matos, anything from the defense?
No questions from the defense, Your
All
Honor.
right. Mr. Taylor, I'm going to order that you are not to have any hostile contact with your dad. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are not to possess any weapons or any firearms.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can I place Mr. Taylor on pretrial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Oh, thank you so much, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
My name is Wilner Maturin.
Mr. Matron, this is 20MM 5714. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes.
Hi,
Oh, tell me your name, please.
Natasha Williams.
Okay. Ms. Williams, again, thank you for your patience this morning. I really do
No
appreciate
problem.
that. Ms. Williams, this is your father, correct?
Yes, that's my daddy.
Okay. Do you want to have contact with him?
Yes.
And Ms. Williams, maybe I'm confused in the police report. It was actually your daughter, your two
Yes.
daughters that were home. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Were you at work when this happened?
Yes.
Okay.
So she felt like that was the only person to call since I couldn't get to the house.
Okay. And you all live with your dad, or he lives with you either way?
Yes.
Y'all live together?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you all lived together?
Since 2009, I think, since he had his
Surgery?
heart, the, what's it called? The pacemaker.
Okay. Okay. And do you have any concerns about your kid's safety if I were to allow contact?
No.
Okay. Do you want him to come back to the house?
Yes.
Okay. Have there been any previous instances
No.
of violence? No, ma'am. Okay. Any questions, Ms. Fusco?
So you have custody of the minors mentioned in the case, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't have any concerns for them?
No.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. Matos?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Matron, you are not to have any hostile contact with your grandchildren. Do you understand what that means?
No, can you repeat that for me again?
Yes, sir. So you're not to have any hostile contact with your grandchildren. It means you're not to be aggressive toward them, yell at them, anything like that. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms, and I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. You'll have to call in and check in with the pretrial release
Never
person.
had one in my life.
Pardon me, sir?
I never carry any firearms. 'Cause
Oh,
I never
okay.
touch any of them.
I understand, sir. Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Uh-oh. What happened? Hey, Dexter, I think something happened to the camera. Well, the camera's here, right?
It's a little blurry.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Big Brother fixed it. Okay, let's see. Good morning. Tell me your name, please.
I'm Randall McPherson.
Mr. McPherson, this is 20MM 378. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you have any questions at all about the no contact order?
Okay, about separate residence. Okay, I have my own place, and
Okay.
so I want to put an injunction on her because
Okay.
I didn't call the cops for a domestic dispute. I didn't know I had failure to appear for court. And I mean, it was never a domestic dispute. I didn't know until I got here.
Okay, so Mr.
I wanna do an injunction.
McPherson, listen, I'm not here to say that it did happen. I'm just telling you why you were arrested, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you already maintain a separate residence, then just keep doing that. In terms of the injunction, if you want to have an injunction, you need to go down to the courthouse
Yes, ma'am.
and file for an injunction because the order that I just entered doesn't have anything to do with her. It has to do with you. So it doesn't prevent her from contacting you, but if she's to call you, text you, email you, you cannot respond. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, so I have to go to the courthouse and do the injunction, and then I go from there. I give the injunction
That's-
to the cops.
Yes.
Okay, understood.
Yes, Ms. Williams? I thought you had a question. Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry about that. Let me take a look at something real quick, Mr. McPherson. I don't seem to have a driving record for Mr. McPherson. Do you think I could get one? Thank you. Mr. McPherson, in 20 CT 300, I'm going to take a look at your driving record. You failed to appear for arraignment on the offense of driving while licensed suspended with knowledge. If possible, would you want to resolve that case today?
Yes, ma'am. Whatever was possible. I want to get my license back. So I wanted to pay it, and then I wanted to reschedule a court date and come into that court date with my license. I called and I talked to the courts, and they didn't tell me I had a warrant or nothing, and it was just 2 weeks ago. And I was like, how can I resolve it? She said, I got to schedule a court, and they do it on Tuesdays, and she said like Thursdays. And she told me to call this number, and I called. They told me how much I owed for a red light ticket that I ran. And I told them I wanted to pay it, and she said, you have to pay it and schedule a court date, and you go from there. You bring it in. I had no idea that I had a warrant out. I had no idea at all. But yes, ma'am, I want to resolve it because I need my license back.
Okay, of course it is. Something else. Of course. I didn't. It's gonna be 500 though. All right. Okay. Thank you. So, Mr. McPherson, this would be your first conviction for driving while license suspended.
Yes, ma'am.
If you wanted to enter a plea today, your license would still be suspended by entering the plea today. You can go fix your driver's license afterward. If you get 2 more driving a license suspended in the next 5 years, you will lose your ability to get a driver's license for 5 years. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you still want to proceed with the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
You do have the option of paying the $1,000 bond as well.
Hold on. So about okay. Okay. So if I proceed with the plea, what happens?
The case is over.
Okay, so I wouldn't have to pay the bond. So I will still have to pay to get my license back,
That's right.
but I won't have about $1,000 bond.
And you won't have the case, and you won't have to go to court on that case anymore. It'll be over, but you still have to fix your license.
Okay. I won't be able to. Or I can be able.
No,
to?
you still need to.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I will. I will get my license, but
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you happen to read the plea form this morning before court?
The plea form.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I understand this.
Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am. I'm not.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, so I'll accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty.
Of the license driving while suspended, right?
That's right.
Yes.
$2 days. I'm going to sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You will have to pay court costs, which will be due by August 5th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Mr. McPherson, if you do not pay those court costs, that's another suspension on your driver's license. You understand? So you want to get those paid.
Okay, so I do 2 days in jail. So can I bond?
You already did them. You already did the 2 days.
Okay. Okay. So on the other one, the injunction. So
The
when
battery, your bond is $500.
okay, so I have to call the Bell's mom to bond out on that charge.
Correct.
Okay, and then once I bond out, I get my license pay my license, and come back to the court date and present that.
No. You're done with the court case. You just need to fix your license.
Oh, got you. Oops. Oh, I got you. I'm sorry. Okay,
That's
understood.
okay.
Understood.
All right, Mr. McPherson. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Vedju Police.
Sir, this is 20MM5730. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You may have a one-time return to the home to get your things if needed. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Do you have any questions at all about the no contact order?
No, hold on. I don't really get it. What did you say, please? Can we repeat?
Sir, do you need an interpreter?
That would be good for me.
Okay, well, we'll call you at the end of the docket, sir. You need Creole, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we have another Creole case that we have as well, so we'll get you at the end.
A bit.
Good morning, your name?
Raymond Rivera.
Mr. Rivera, you are here in case number 20MM 5701. You were arrested for battery domestic violence and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. You may have a one-time return to get your things if needed. And I will place you on pretrial release at this time, sir. Do you have any questions at all about the no contact order?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Good morning, ma'am. Michael Anthony Sparkman.
Good morning, Mr. Sparkman. You are here in 20 CT 4783. You were arrested for a no valid driver's license. There is probable cause. Ms. Fusco, did you have an offer for Mr. Sparkman?
Isn't he on probation, Your Honor?
Excuse me?
I'm asking this, did you want to enter a plea and resolve this case today, sir?
Yes, right now.
Is he on probation?
He's on
No.
probation.
He is?
We have an add-on charge.
Oh, so we're going to see it tomorrow?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Sparkman, unfortunately, I was just told that you are on probation and you have an add-on charge, so I'm going to see you again tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stay the bond on this case at $500, and I'm going to see you tomorrow.
So I can't get a ROR.
No, sir. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. All right, and Mr. Kiona? Or Miss Kiona?
You have a booking number?
Medical, Your Honor.
Medical. Yeah, it's 200104.
She's here, Your Honor.
Hold on 1 second, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Ms. Fusco, do you have an offer for me, something?
For who?
I just got a text from the attorney saying that you can pay out.
We just usually do the cannabis ROR, not really offer.
I mean, if you do ROR, we'll take.
Do you have a booking number for her? Good. Booking number for the next person? I can't hear you. A booking number for the next person. I didn't.
I have 200100483.
Oh, I got her as bonded. Kiana Hudson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On 20MM 3228.
Yes, Your Honor.
Bonded?
Somebody
Is that
posted her bond.
Who is it?
Still. Somebody posted. Wait a minute.
Ma'am, good morning. Tell me your name.
My name is Kiana Hudson Reynolds.
All right, Ms. Reynolds, this is 20MM 3228. You're here for an arraignment. You're represented by the public defender. Ms. Fusco, did you have an offer for Ms. Reynolds?
I did. The offer was adjudication of guilt, 6 days with 6 days credit time served, court costs, no return to the scene of the trespass at 115 South Lake Pleasant Road, Apopka. Abide by the trespass warning.
Ms. Reynolds, did you want to resolve your case this morning?
What does that mean?
Did you want to enter a plea to the trespassing charge?
Oh yeah, guilty.
All right, ma'am. Did you read the plea form before court?
I read it yesterday, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you have any questions about any of the rights on the form?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 6 days in jail with credit for 6 days time served. You're not to return to the scene. You will have to pay court costs. Those are going to be due by August 6th of 2021.
So next year.
And you have next year, 1 year from today.
Okay, thank
And you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Okay, so what does that mean?
If you don't have any other holds, you'll be released as to this case today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a blessed day.
You too.
Your Honor, Christopher Taylor, medical.
Okay. Oh, we're going to the add-on docket first?
It was a plea.
Yes, Your Honor. He was set for a plea today.
Yes. Okay. This is on the add-on docket. This is a Volusia County plea. Christopher Taylor. I believe we reset this case from yesterday. So, Mr. Matos, I would just request that your office let me know, myself or Judge Marquez, who's also doing the out-of-county pleas, let us know when he is going to be available for court and we can get a reset.
Will do, Your Honor.
Okay? He's medical. Good morning. Tell me your name.
Melanie Young.
Miss Young. How about Rihanna? Oh, we're doing both of these. Okay. This is on the add-on. Miss Young, just give me a moment, okay? Melanie Young, that's this one. And then this is Christopher Taylor. Oops, call Mr. Brown. Thank you. It is 7494. Ms. Fusco, are you handling the plea of Melanie Young?
I've received the documentation on the offer, Your Honor, yes.
Okay.
He's on, Judge.
He's on. Okay, just give me a second here. Mr. Brown, are you there?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I guess it is afternoon. Thank you. It's been a long morning. I have Ms. Young here on video in courtroom 2 at the BRC. Ms. Young, could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Brown, could I please have you place your appearance on the record, please?
Michael Brown, Your Honor, on behalf of Miss Melanie Young.
Okay. And I do have a plea form that was provided to the court here that
Yes,
is signed by both you, Mr. Brown, and it appears to be Miss Young.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Young signed that. We went over the plea form, and Mr. Babcock from the State Attorney's Office in Seminole County has signed that. Ms. Young will withdraw her previous denial, entered admission as charged in the affidavit for violation of probation. The agreement with the state is an adjudication of guilt, 14 months in the Department of Corrections, revoke, terminate probation. All the previous restitution and costs is outlined through the civil judgment. And Judge Alba approved, who has the signed case in Seminole County, giving her credit back to December 30th of 2019 as indicated on the plea form. That's 221 days as of today, plus the original day on the underlying, Your Honor. So the credit time served as of today should be 222 days, the way I calculate it, Judge.
Okay. All right, then we'll go ahead and get started. I also received the affidavit of violation of probation and the score sheet, so I do have that here from Seminole County as well. All right, Ms. Young, could you please state your name and for the record and your date of birth?
Melanie Young, September 9th, 1977.
Ms. Young, do you read and understand English?
Yes.
And Ms. Young, you are charged with violating your probation, specifically conditions 1 and 2. It alleges that you failed to report to your community control officer as directed at least one time per week, and that you failed to remain confined to your approved residence except for 1/2 hour before or after your approved employment, public service work, or any other special activities approved by your officer, as well as moving without getting permission. Your attorney indicated that you wish to change your earlier denial and now admit that you violated your probation as stated previously. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or prescription medications?
No.
Are you experiencing any mental illness or emotional disturbance?
No.
You heard your attorney say the terms of the plea agreement just previously, but again, in case you couldn't hear, because I know it's a little bit difficult, the agreement today would be to admit that you violated your probation. You will be adjudicated guilty, sentenced to 14 months in the Department of Corrections with credit for 222 days. Your probation will be revoked and terminated, and all of your outstanding court costs and restitution will be reduced to a judgment. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Young, I do have the plea form here that is signed by you, your attorney, and the attorney from state attorney from Seminole County. Do you recall reviewing the plea form with your lawyer?
Yes.
Do you recall signing the plea form?
Yes.
And did you have an ample opportunity to discuss everything on the plea form and the terms of the plea with your lawyer?
Yes.
Was he able to answer all of your questions?
Yes.
Did you understand everything that he explained?
Yes.
You understand the constitutional rights that are outlined in the plea form?
Yes.
You understand that you're giving up your right to have a final evidentiary hearing?
Yes.
You're giving up your right to see and hear all witnesses and to cross-examine them?
Yes.
You're not going to be able to raise any defenses or present any evidence. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Also, you're giving up your limited right to remain silent and whether or not you would like to testify.
Yes.
And finally, you're giving up your right to require the state of Florida to prove by the greater weight of the evidence that you willfully and materially violated your probation. Is that what you'd like to do?
Yes.
All right. Ma'am, is there anything that you wanted your attorney to do that they have not done?
No.
Did you have enough time to discuss this case and your potential defenses?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with your lawyer's representation?
Yes.
Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Pardon me?
Yes.
Do you feel threatened, coerced, or forced?
No.
Have you been promised anything different than the terms that I've stated here in open court today?
No.
Do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, this plea will result in your deportation?
Yes.
All right. All right, Ms. Young, I find that you're competent, coherent, and alert, that you have freely and voluntarily and intelligently waived your rights. You knowingly entered this plea and understand the nature of the charges and the consequences of the plea. You are represented by competent counsel with whom you say you are satisfied, and there is a factual basis for acceptance of the plea. Ms. Fusco, is there any legal reason why we can't proceed to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Brown, anything else before we impose the sentence?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Young, at this time, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 14 months in the Department of Corrections. You have credit for 222 days time served. I will revoke and terminate your probation. Any outstanding costs and your restitution, which is stated to be $17,133, will be reduced to a civil judgment in favor of Synchrony Bank. All right, Ms. Young, I believe that's all. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Brown?
Judge, I know she has a Brevard hold, and she would like to be transported to the Department of Corrections as soon as transport is available. I just want to place that on the record.
Sure. I probably have her then, or now that this hold is clear, if that's the only thing holding her, she might show up on my out-of-county list tomorrow. And as you know, we do coordinate with that, so I'll be able to see maybe what's going on tomorrow with that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Your Honor, quick question. Are we going to do the 30 days, or are we just going to continue to misdemeanor payables?
We can do 33 at the end. Thank you, Mr. Matos.
Are we going to finish the admin docket?
Yes.
Score sheet, fee form.
I think so.
Affidavit of violation of probation. This is the proof of what?
All these are on that add-on docket. Please, status here.
This might be from somebody else, because I only have this one.
Ma'am, good morning. Please tell me your name.
Riona Kennedy.
Miss Kennedy, you are here in 20 MM 5727. You were arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning. Are you Mr. Cooper?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Cooper, you're here in 20 MM 5725. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. There is probable cause. Was there an offer for Mr. Cooper?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 2 days with credit time served, court cost.
Mr. Cooper, did you want to enter a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you read the plea form before court?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up? Mr. Cooper, do you understand what I'm saying?
Actually, ma'am, I don't understand really.
Okay. What's not clear?
Like, if I'm entering a plea, like, what am I pleading to?
You were pleading to the offense of trespass on property after warning at the link station, and you'll be sentenced to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You're not going to be able to go back to the link station either.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You told me you read the plea form. Do you have any questions about any of the rights on the plea form that you're giving up?
I'm sorry, you saying read out what I'm giving up?
Right, so if you enter a plea today, Mr. Cooper, you're going to give up your right to make the state of Florida prove that you committed this crime. You're going to give up your right to have a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you are not a United States citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Oh, I am a United States citizen.
All right, sir. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
Yes, ma'am. I'm aware now.
Okay. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol, sir?
No, ma'am.
Do you feel like you have a good understanding of what we're talking about?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I can't hear you that clear.
That's okay. Do you feel you have a good understanding of what it is we're talking about?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You can't return to the link station. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. You'll have to pay your court costs, which are due by August 6th of 2021. Thank you, sir.
Do I still have a bond?
No, your case is over.
Oh,
You'll be released today, sir. Good morning, or good afternoon.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, you're here in 20 MM 5715.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
You were arrested for trespass on property after warning
Yes, ma'am.
and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Davis?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served, court costs, no return to the scene of the trespass at the mobile station at 5206 Silver Star Road.
Mr. Davis, did you want to enter a plea and accept the state's offer?
Yes, I accept the offer.
All right, sir. Did you read the plea form before court?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
And you want to enter a plea of no contest?
No contest.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights on the form that you're giving up?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You'll have to pay court costs and not return to the mobile gas station. Your court costs are going to be due by August 6th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Patrick Jameson.
Mr. Jameson, this is 20 MM 5722. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. Is there an offer for Mr. Jameson?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 2 days with credit time served and no return to the 7-Eleven at 938 West Colonial Drive and court costs.
Mr. Jameson, did you want to enter a plea?
Pardon?
Did you want to enter a plea to this case today?
Guilty.
All right, sir. Did you read the plea form before you came to court?
I don't have my glasses, ma'am. I can't see it.
Okay. You understand that by entering this plea today, you're giving up your right to have a trial?
Yes, ma'am.
And you won't be able to present any evidence or defenses.
Yes, ma'am.
And you want to proceed?
Pardon?
You'd like to go forward with the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You are not to return to the 7-Eleven. You'll have to pay court costs, which will be due by August 6th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you.
Hello, Judge.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Jefferson?
Yes, ma'am. I
Mr.
want.
Jefferson, you are here in case number 20MM376. You were arrested for trespass in a dwelling after morning. There is probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Wisco, did you have an offer for Mr. Jefferson?
Your Honor, my office has serious competency concerns for Mr. Jefferson. We'd not like him to plea at this point.
You what?
You have competency concerns for Mr. Jefferson?
Have you talked to him?
Not today, Your Honor. I'm just reading the notes that I find.
Today's August 6, 2020. The president is Trump. Before that, Obama. Before that, Bush. I would like to make a plea of guilty. I also got a paper in my mail to my cell saying that the DA did not file charges to my father, which was dated August 5th, ma'am.
right,
I'd
sir.
like to return to the scene one time and pick up my backpack, my Adidas backpack, which has my candy and clothes that I use for my TSS or toxic shock syndrome, which I have. I've been shot, ma'am. I do have the scars on my foot.
Okay, I hear you, Mr. Turner or Mr. Jefferson. Is there an offer for Mr. Jefferson?
Yes, Your Honor, adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit for time served, court cost, and no return to the scene at 1149 Deer Lake Circle in Apopka.
All right.
I would like to return one more time to pick up my backpack. That's it.
You can. That's fine. Okay. Did you read the plea form before court this
Yep,
morning?
adjudication of guilt with time served, meaning I.
No, that's not what we're talking about. Listen, Mr. Jefferson, let me talk, okay? And then you can answer my questions, all right?
Yeah.
We'll get to that part. Did you read the plea form, the form that they give you in the morning that describes all
yeah.
of the rights?
Yeah, I have to know the difference between not guilty, guilty, no contest.
That's right.
And I would like to plead no contest, ma'am.
Yes, I understand, sir. Do you want to give up those rights today and enter the plea?
Yes, ma'am, I would.
Okay. Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
That's okay. I'm a U.S. citizen, ma'am, American born abroad.
And, sir, have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am, I haven't.
All right, sir. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You are not to return to the scene except for one time with the police to get your things. You have to call the police first. You understand?
Understood.
Okay, and you can get your things. You will have to pay court costs, which will be due by August 6th of 2021. And you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir.
All right, so I get out tomorrow?
You get out, unless you have any other holds, you'd get out today.
All right, thank you. I have no other holds.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Love you, Judge. Have a blessed day.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jefferson. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Nicole Mashad.
Ms. Mashad, this is 20MM5726. You were arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $500, and I am not going to revoke your out on bond case at this time. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello,
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Nadine Mitzi Presley.
Ms. Mincy, you are here in a case number Why does it say 19? I have 20 MM 5731.
No, that's gonna be deleted.
Okay.
She should have scratched out.
19 MM 194 AE.
It should be 20 MM, not 19.
That's what I thought. Okay.
20 194.
AE. Miss Mincy, you were arrested for trespassing on property. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Miss Mincy, you cannot go back to Winter Park Village. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I can't go back.
No, they have trespassed you. They do not want you there.
Okay.
And so every time you go, they're going to arrest you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So you're not going to go back there?
No.
All right. All right, Miss Mincy, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. But you're not going to go back to the Winter Park Village. Do we understand each other?
Right.
Okay. And then I'm not taking any action on the hostile location.
My husband is here. Can I go?
They're going to release you later today.
Huh?
Yes, they're going to release you later today.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me your name, please.
Michael Moore.
Mr. Moore, this is 20MM 5710. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. Actually, is there an offer for Mr. Moore?
I would. Okay.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served, court costs to run concurrent for the 3.
Mr. Moore, the state's offer today in both of your cases, 20MM 5710 and 20MO 812, is an adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit for 2 days time served. If you have no other holds, you will be released today. Would you like to accept the offer?
Yes, I would.
All right, sir. Did you read the plea form before court?
Most of it.
Okay. Do you have any questions, or do you want some more time to read it?
No, not really.
All right, sir. Are you on probation?
No. No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, but I am a citizen.
Okay. And
Okay.
have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. In both of the cases, those are to run concurrent with one another. You're not to return to the scene. You will have to pay court costs. I'm only going to impose court costs in one case. And those are going to be due by August 5th of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Collins, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Sir, this is 20MO 815. You were arrested for open container.
Yes.
There is probable cause. Ms. Fusco, was there an offer for Mr. Collins?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 2 days with 2 days credit time served, court costs.
Mr. Collins, did you want to accept the offer of 2 days with credit for 2 days time served?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you plead no contest?
No contest. No.
Did you read the plea form?
I can see good.
Okay. So, Mr. Collins, you understand by entering this plea today that the case will be over and you will not be able to contest the charges.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Do you still want to proceed with the plea?
Yeah, I need that plea.
Okay. Are you on probation?
No.
And do you understand if you're not a United States citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
I understand.
And have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
All right, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Actually, I think it's 1 day. Sentence you to 1 day with credit for 1 day.
Thank you so
You're going to
much.
have to pay court costs, which are due
Yes.
by
Yes.
August 6th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, or good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Luis Baez.
Mr. Baez, sir, you are here in case number 20 CF 9437. You were arrested for possession of cocaine, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and driving while license suspended. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $500. Your bond on count 2 is $100. Bond on count 3 is $100. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license, and you're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name, please. Tell me your name.
J1 Brooks.
Mr. Branham bonded, Your Honor.
Got it. Thank you. Mr. Brooks?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Brooks, you are here in 20 CF 9403. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. And your bond is $1,000, sir. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Rene Burgos.
You're Mr. Burgos?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Burgos, this is 20 CF 9392. You were arrested for burglary of a dwelling with an assault or battery. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Mr. Matos, did you want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proof evident hearing? So, Mr. Burgos, at this time, your lawyer has waived the right, or your right, to have the state of Florida have to prove that there is proof evident or presumption great at this stage of the proceeding. He has reserved your right to have an entire bond hearing downtown in a reasonable amount of time. So today, your bond on count 1 is going to remain at none. You're not to have any contact with the victims or return to the scene or possess any weapons or firearms. Someone from the public defender's office is going to come speak with you about what you can expect regarding your bond hearing. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name? Or good afternoon, your name?
Ginger Cardi.
Miss Cardi, you're here in 20 CF 9419. You were arrested for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to have any contact with the victim or possess any weapons.
Yes,
Your bond is $3,500, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.
What if I don't have the money?
You'll need to have your lawyer file a bond motion, ma'am. Sir, good morning, your name, or good afternoon, your name?
Good afternoon. It's Robert DeLuca.
Mr. DeLuca, this is 20 CF 9428. You were arrested for burglary of an occupied dwelling, stalking, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim. Your bond on count 1 is $5,000, 2 $150, 3 $150, 4 $100. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
David Fallon.
Mr. Fallon, this is 20 CF 9404. You were arrested for burglary of a structure and criminal mischief at a place of worship. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 will be $1,500. Your bond on count 2 is $150. You're not to return to the scene, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Adam Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez, you were arrested in 20 CF 9408 for burglary of an occupied dwelling, burglary of a conveyance, grand theft third degree between $750 and $5,000, and grand theft first degree greater than $1,000 or $100,000 by scheme.
Your Honor, I'd like to settle everything today if possible.
Oh, that's not possible, Mr. Gonzalez.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Matos.
for the burglary for $100,000, I was a little confused based on the affidavit because it says two counts of burglary grand theft, 700 less than 5,000, and the numbers on the affidavit only points to a $4,000 take for the first burglary and a $1,000 take on the second burglary.
Right. Ms. Fusco?
I need a moment, Your Honor.
There's no numbers in the affidavit that would add up to over $100,000. But there would be probable cause for 2 counts of grand theft because there are 2 alleged places of burglary.
So we asked to include the lesser included offense, Your Honor.
Could the court find PC as to the lesser included on count 4, and we'll try to get.
Okay. So there's probable cause in count 4. There's probable cause for counts 1, 2, 3. Probable cause in count 4 for grand theft, which is 812.014. 812.014 sub 2. Bond on count 1 is $5,000. Bond on count 2, 3, and 4 will be $150. You're not to return to either of the scenes or have any contact with any of the victims, sir.
Your Honor, there's
Thank
no way.
you.
There's no way to plea out to at least 5 or 10 years probation or anything.
I can't do that today, sir. No, I don't have the authority to do that. Plus, you want to talk to a lawyer about your defenses and what the consequences of the plea will be. Good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name.
Arthur Terrell Gray.
Mr. Gray, you're here in 20 CF 9431. You were arrested for possession of methamphetamine and soliciting without a permit. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Mr. Gray, you understand you cannot solicit from the roadway.
Yes.
You're not to possess any controlled substances without a valid prescription.
Okay.
I'm going to set your bond on count 1 at $500. I'm going to ROR you on count 2, and I'm not going to take any action on your out on bond cases, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Hooks.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Your Honor.
It's a second, Mr. Hooks.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were arrested pursuant to a warrant and 20 CF 9181 for trafficking in cocaine greater than 28 grams and less than 200 grams and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. Your bond on count 1 will be $25,000. Bond on count 2 will be $100,000. I am not going to revoke 20 CF 4904, 20 CF 4284, or 20 CF 1317, as the date in the arrest affidavit for the new case is, or date of offense is January 29th.
Ma'am,
But, just a minute, sir, in 20 CF 238, that's the Osceola case, I'm going to revoke that. That'll be set at none. Mr. Hooks, did you have a question?
yes, ma'am. This trafficking case, I already had this case, and I got R&R'd on it, and the officers keep hitting me with these warrants to bring me back to jail, and I keep getting my bonds revoked. Then the case get thrown out, and then they give me my bonds back. I just got out of jail last month, and the same officers keep hitting me with different warrants,
Well, just a second, let me see.
and they keep revoking my bonds, and then they give me my bonds back. Then as soon as I get out, I got another warrant. I just got out of jail, and now I got a trafficking warrant. I just had a baby. I ain't been doing nothing. I just had a newborn baby, three days old. I just went to my bondsman. I ain't have no warrant when I went to my bondsman. Now I got a warrant.
So this is a new warrant though, sir, so I don't know, that happens. If you continue to get warrants, your bonds are gonna get revoked if the offense happens after your last arrest.
But I
So you're
haven't.
gonna have to have your lawyer on the Osceola County case file a bond motion. I didn't take any action on your Orange County cases because the date that you got arrested was April 21st of this year, okay? And then the date that they say you committed this crime in the warrant is back in January. So I didn't revoke your bond.
But
But the Osceola County case,
But
the
if
arrest
you,
date was January 21, and the offense date in the new case is January 29th. So that bond is revoked.
what, my Osceola?
Yep.
But if you look at the my prior case that I was R&R on the trafficking, that's the same warrant that I have right now. I was R&R'd on the
That
trafficking.
does not appear apparent to me, sir. I don't know. I don't have the facts. This looks like it was a new warrant in July. So that's what I'm going off of. Your lawyer can investigate what you're saying. I don't have evidence of that here today. I just explained to you why certain cases were revoked and why others were not.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the decision, sir, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning,
Good morning,
Judge.
ma'am.
Good morning.
Tell me your name.
Judy Kelly?
Yes, Miss Kelly, you're here in 20 CF 9294. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Yes,
And in
ma'am.
20 C, just a minute. And in 20 CF 9444, you were arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Yes, ma'am. I had to go to the hospital. That's why I got the warrant.
Okay, ma'am. Your bond in 20 CF 9294 will be $1,000 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. And in 20 CF 9444, your bond will be $500 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. Ms. Kelly, you're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. And I'm not going to revoke the out on bond case.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
How much time do I get?
Well, you have to post your bond.
I can't post no bond, ma'am.
So you need to call your lawyer and see what the options are regarding your cases.
All right.
Okay? Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Keenan?
Afternoon.
Or Kennan? I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. Sir, this is 20 CF 9426. You were arrested for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. There is probable cause, sir. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to return to the Walgreens. Mr. Kennan, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Tell me your name.
Jesenia Marcano.
Ma'am, you were arrested for driving while license revoked as a habitual offender. I find probable cause for driving while license suspended. There's no indication that she's designated as a habitual offender.
I never knew.
Ma'am, your bond is $500.
Would there be a possibility if I can get released on pre-trial release? Because my mom just died 2 days ago, and I all of our money went into her funeral costs and expenses, and I don't want to miss her burial. Please, ma'am. That's the last parent I had, and they didn't even tell me that she was dying. My sister called me at the very last minute, and I didn't hardly get to see her. I haven't talked to my mom in 4 years since my dad died, and my family was keeping me away from her. I don't even know why.
So, Ms. Marcano, my concern is that you have failed to appear for court 12 times.
Ma'am, that was because but those charges were dropped, ma'am. But they
But
were
that's
never,
not, it's not about dropping the charges. I'm talking about not coming to court. So if I let you go,
Please.
right, you have to come back to court.
Yes,
That's the
absolutely.
issue.
Absolutely, I will come back. I will.
What's your address?
4505 Lake Lawn Drive. I live right off of Mercy Drive. I just got hired at First Class Dry Cleaners over here on Orange Blossom Trail.
Okay. Mr. Matos, did you get that information?
No, can you repeat that one more time, Your Honor? Sorry.
My address is 4505 Lake Lawn Drive. It's right off of Mercy Drive, and I just got hired at First Class Dry Cleaners off of OBT.
Ms. Marcano, I am going to release you on your own recognizance.
Okay.
You need to contact the public defender's office
Okay.
within 24 hours of
Okay.
your release from the jail. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Do I have to have a payment right when I call them? For
There's
them?
no payment.
Ma'am?
There's no payment. No,
Okay.
ma'am, there's no payment.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Too.
Samdon Nguyen is behavior, Your Honor.
All right, I'm finding a waiver of Mr. Nguyen's appearance based upon his behavior and inability to come to court. In 20 CF 9446, he was arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Bond on count 1 is going to be 500. Bond on count 2 is 100. He's not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a prescription, and I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond case. Good afternoon, your name?
Vishal Prasad.
Mr. Prasad, you are here in 20 CF 9388. You were arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is 1,000. Your bond on count 2 is 100.
Ma'am,
Go ahead, Mr. Prasad.
the cocaine that they said that they found was in the backseat passenger. I do.
Okay, so Mr. Prasad, let me stop you right there, okay? This is a great conversation for you to have with your lawyer, okay? And they will be able to talk to you about what potential defenses you might have to the case, okay? Mr. Prasad, you have a case that you were given a notice to appear for on July 1st for possession of drug paraphernalia. Would you like to enter a plea to that case today while you're here?
Well, could I do it all together? Like,
Well, you can't plea out the felony case today because I can't take a plea here at the jail on a felony case at first appearance, but you can resolve the misdemeanor that you received the notice to appear for.
and what are my options for that?
So you can go to court on another day and, see what
Is that when I
you want to do.
emailed the judge? Was that the one
Right,
you
so-
emailed the judge for?
Yeah, so if you resolve it today, you wouldn't have to do anything else on that case.
And what would be my options?
You would be adjudicated guilty and given 1 day in jail with credit for 1 day time served.
And then it'd be over?
And that case would be done.
And I already got credit for the times, the 1 day?
That's right.
All right, so I'll sign for that.
Okay. Did you read the plea form before court this morning?
I'll read it now. And that was for the notice to appear for the,
Possession of
Paraphernalia?
drug paraphernalia.
okay. Okay, so I signed this? Okay,
Do you have any questions about anything that you read?
no,
Are you on probation?
no,
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea could subject you or will subject you to deportation?
yes,
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
no.
All right, sir, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in jail with credit for 1 day time served. You'll have to pay court costs. Those are due by August 6th of
Have you put out-
2021.
Oh, 2021, okay.
2021. And you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. I'm not going to take any action on the other out on bond case.
I wouldn't be able to be released on ROR today,
No. You have to pay your bond, sir.
which is
$600.
600.
Okay.
Your Honor, next on the list, Piper Joshua Bunn.
Thank you. Yeah. Did I say 1,000? That's whatever I said first. I'm assuming it's first. Who's in it early? How about Mr. Quinlan?
He also bonded.
Okay. Mr. Reyes? Mr. Reyes, you're here in 20 CF 5922 for violating your terms of your conditional release.
You want me to say something?
Your bond is going to be $2,500, sir. You're going to have random urinalysis testing through pretrial release. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir.
So what does that mean?
What do you mean? What does it mean?
Who you mad?
I don't know how to read. I gotta pay $2,500 to get out.
That's right.
I don't have that money to get out.
You'll have to contact your lawyer, sir, about your options, okay?
So I gotta stay in jail till I pay that.
That's right.
What I could do without paying that and do something different?
Oh, you attorney, right?
Thank you, Renee. Good afternoon, your name?
Shauna Shirey.
Ms. Shirey, this is 20 CF 9441. You were arrested for possession of synthetic cannabinoids and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Yeah.
There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances, ma'am, without a valid prescription. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're on the next on the list. Snelling. Bonded.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Gregory Sproul.
Sir, this is 20 MO 813 and 20 CF 9438. You were arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer and camping. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Can I place Mr. Spurriel on PTR?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Spurriel, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time, sir. Thank you. Make sure you check in with the pretrial release officer or there'll be a warrant issued for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
On both cases, Your Honor?
Yes.
Did you have any conditions? Did you state any conditions? No.
Good afternoon, your name?
Nicholas Venuti.
Mr. Venuti, you are here in 20 CF 9387. You were arrested for possession of cocaine, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription, sir. I'm placing you on pretrial release.
May I make a statement?
Not about the facts of your case.
Oh, pretrial.
No.
Did you say pretrial release?
That's right.
Which is not RO.
It's not ROR, no, sir.
Oh, I'm a.
Good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name, please.
Anthony DeWan White.
Mr. White, you're here in 20 CF 9429. You were arrested for possession of cocaine. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Your bond is $1,000. In 19 CF 14267 and 20 CF 4453, those bonds are going to be revoked at this time, sir, and will be set at none. Thank you. Mr. Williams, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
You're here in 20 CF 9442. You were arrested for possession of a counterfeit driver's license. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You also have 20 CT 4794. You were arrested for driving while license suspended. There's probable cause for that offense as well, sir. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello,
Tell me your name.
Stephen Young.
Mr. Young, you're here in 20 CF 9449. You were arrested for grand theft of a fire extinguisher, criminal mischief, and trespass in an occupied structure or a conveyance. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count one is $1,000, count two, 100, count three, 100. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Was there no return on that one, Your Honor?
I didn't say it, but it's in the statute.
Good morning.
Good morning, or good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon.
I'm behind as well. That's okay. It seems like morning, doesn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Or the longest day ever. I'm not sure which one. Are you Mr. Cruz Serrano.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Serrano, you are here. You have 3 cases. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you in all of them. You have 20 5723. You were arrested for possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There's probable cause for that offense. And I'm going to release you on your own recognizance as to that case. You have 20 CT 4791. You were arrested for driving while license suspended. There's probable cause for that offense. Your bond is $500. Mr. Serrano, those cases form the basis of the violation of probation in 18 CF 17277. Your bond in that matter is going to be set at none. You'll need to have your lawyer file a bond motion or see if you can get a bond with the judge handling the violation of probation. You will see Judge Whitehead in the next 7 to 10 days on the violation of probation.
I have one quick question.
Sure.
If I plead guilty now, is there any way we can resolve this here?
No, I cannot resolve the violation of probation issue at first appearance. So that's something you'll also want to talk to your lawyer about.
Okay, understood.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Your name, sir?
Jerome Dodenhoff.
Mr. Dodenhoff, you are here, sir. You have 2 cases. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in both. You have 20 CF 9439. You were arrested for possession of synthetic cannabinoids, possession of oxycodone, and attempted destruction of evidence. There is probable cause. Your bond on count 1 is 1,000. Your bond on count 2 is 150. Your bond on count 3 is 100. I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 1193. That bond will be set at none. In the violation of probation in 19 CF 3290, there is probable cause based upon the facts contained in the new law offense. Bond on the violation of probation will be set at none. You're going to see Judge Whitehead in the next 7 to 10 days on the violation of probation. And you do have reporting requirements, sir, when you are released from the jail. Thank you.
Morning.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Darius Redding.
Mr. Redding, this is 14 CF 3576. You were arrested for allegedly violating your probation by failing to complete a drug or alcohol treatment program. You were discharged from Un Nuevo Camino. You moved without getting permission, and you have not been making your court cost payments. At this time, sir, your bond is set at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're going to see Judge Whitehead in the next 7 to 10 days.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Jamel White.
Good afternoon, Mr. White.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you are here in 18 CF 4253. It's alleged, sir, that you have violated your probation by committing a new law offense in Leon County, driving while license suspended or revoked. That you failed to live and remain at liberty without violating the offense by committing the offense of DUI in Tallahassee, Florida. That you left your county of supervision without permission. You failed to report to probation, and you used intoxicants to excess, namely marijuana. At this time, your bond is set at none, sir. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're going to see Judge Whitehead in the next 7 to 10 days.
Is there any way I can get a bond, ma'am?
Excuse me?
Is there any way I can get a bond? Because I have
I can't give you a bond today.
I have 9 days left on probation now.
I can't hear you.
I have 9 days left on probation, and the officer said if I probably do those 9 days, is there any way I can get it terminated?
Yeah, I don't have any jurisdiction to do that today, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Jackson?
Jackson is medical, Your Honor.
All right. This is an out-of-county warrant from Polk County. Do you suspect that Mr. Jackson's going to be able to come to court tomorrow?
It is possible.
All right.
Is medical there?
All right. Reset his case. I'll reach out to them anyway, though. And then we have the two real.
Mr. Thompson. Do you know
Mr. Matos, on Mr. Alexis's case, are you waiving the state's, the showing for the state
Yes, Your Honor.
show proof evident presumption? Great.
Is Alexis Portuguese or Creole?
Creole.
Ready? Okay. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon, ma'am. The interpreter can hear you.
Great. I'm going to call the case. It's 20 CF 9425. Madam Interpreter, if you could please ask the defendant his name.
Certainly, ma'am. Bonsoir. Comment vous relez?
Giovanni Alexi.
Giovanni Alexi.
Yeah.
Sir, you were arrested for attempted felony murder with a firearm.
Monsieur, yo te arrêté parce que ou te fait attentat, ou te fait crime, ou te tué un monde avec une arme.
Attempted felony murder with a firearm.
Attentat, crime, ou tué un monde avec une arme.
No, Mathieu.
Aggravated. No, Mr. Alexis, please do not speak.
Sorry.
Monsieur Alexis, t'en prie, pas parler.
Okay.
Sir, I'm just telling you what you were arrested for.
Monsieur, moi juste à dire pour qui ça yo te arrêté.
Okay.
You were also arrested for aggravated battery, great bodily harm with a firearm.
Le finitu yo te arrêté parce que ou bâton moun. Ou bay moun sa en pile bâton. Ou run avec dans corps moun sa. Avec yon zam.
There is probable cause.
Probablement gen cause.
I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
Ou pral apporter yon défendeur public pour représenter ou.
Mr. Matos, are you requesting that the full Arthur hearing be taken place downtown?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Alexis, at this time, your bond will remain at none on counts 1 and 2.
Monsieur Alexis, nan moment sa, bond lan, sa vle di relâche sous caution, li rete à zéro. Nan ni compte numéro 1 et 2.
Bond on count 3 will be $5,000.
Libération sous caution dans compte 3 à $5,000.
You're not to have any contact with the victim
Ou pas supposé gen aucun contact avec victime nan.
or any of the witnesses
Ou bien aucun nan témoin yo.
You're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Ou pas supposé gen aucun zam. Ça veut dire n'importe qualité de zam.
Someone from the public defender's office is going to come talk to you about your bond hearing.
Gen yon moun nan office défendeur public lan k'ap vin parler avec ou au sujet de jugement.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Merci, monsieur.
Okay, merci.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, is there anything else the interpreter may assist you with?
Yes, I have one additional matter.
The interpreter will be on hold.
Nope, I'm just going to call it right now.
Okay.
It's 20MM 5730.
VMM 5730.
Mr. Pullis,
Yes.
Monsieur Police,
here are the conditions of your release as we stated previously.
please, may I have a repetition? The interpreter cannot hear very well.
Yes, I'm going to go over the conditions. We already had his hearing, but then he indicated he didn't understand everything, so I'm going to go over the conditions again.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure. Mr. Paulus, you are not to have any contact with the victim.
Monsieur Paulus, je parle réviser conditions yo avec ou encore. Puis gao gen aucun contact avec victime nan.
Okay, can I say
You are
something?
to
Can I?
you are to maintain a separate residence.
C'est pour al rete nan kay séparé.
You may return one time with the police to get your things.
Ou ka retourner une seule fois avec la police pour al prendre affaire yo.
You are not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Puis gao gen aucun qualité de zam.
I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Je pral placer yo nan relâchement avant jugement.
Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
Yes.
Est-ce que pas gen aucune question à propos de ordre pour pas gen aucun contact?
Yes, mwen gen yon question.
Yes, I have a question.
What is it?
Italian.
Kala se mwen ki loue li, ti gason mwen gen 18 ans li pap travay. Si mba nan kala ki moun kap bal manje.
Okay, the house is a house that I rented. The boy is an 18-year-old that's not working. If I'm not in the house, who's going to feed him?
I don't have an answer to that question, sir.
Mwen pa gon réponse à question ça, monsieur.
If he is not in the home, you can be there, but if he is there, you may not.
S'il pa nan kay lan, ou kapap nan kay lan. Mais s'il nan kay lan, ou même, ou pa karet la.
Ok, mwen gen yon lot question.
Okay, I have another question.
Yes, sir.
Oui, monsieur.
Nan ka sa, la oblige kite la kay la.
In this case, you would have to leave the home.
In order for you to be there, yes.
Ou même pou ka lot bon, oui.
Thank you, sir.
On lot question encore.
Another question. Again.
Mwen pa ka ale prel. Ki jama fe pour sortir dans kay la.
I can't get close up to him. So how do I go about getting him to leave the home?
That's not something I can help you with, sir. I don't know.
Ça c'est pour un bagay moi-même ka aido avec li, monsieur. M'pa connaît.
You'll need to call your lawyer to see if they can assist you with that.
Ou besoin contacter avocat pour voir si yo ka assister.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Merci, monsieur.
All right, Madam Interpreter, that's everything. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Thank you for using our services. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Oh. Where's Stephen Fritz? Okay.
Ms. Fusco, are you ready for the 33-day motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. 20 CF 7653 Ochino Michael. Or Michael Ochino.
Yes, Your Honor. On July 31st, there was a notice of non-filing.
That will be granted. CF 7027 Marcus Fisher.
Yes, Your Honor. On August 5th, there was a notice of non-filing.
That'll be granted. CF 6418 Stephen Johnson.
Yes, Your Honor. On August 3rd, there was a request for administrative transfer